Hi, hello, how are you? And in today's video, we will not be hating on the new LPS. In fact, I will be talking about why Hasbro should not bring Generation 2 back and why you should stop hating on the new LPS because they're actually not that bad. Yes, there are some rare ones that are pretty dang ugly in this collection, but we'll get on to how Hasbro has some really ugly LPS in Generation 2. So the last few months there's been some controversy with Hasbro's new LPS that are going to be coming out in October. I actually totally agree with these two LPS channels who talked about these. They make really good points. It talks about what kind of direction Hasbro is going into, how they're not listening to their customers at all, and really only care about profit. Anyways, let's get into this. I'm going to be kind of doing this like in a presentation kind of fashion. I have 5 main points that I want to bring up during this video. So the first point I'm going to bring up is some newer LPS are better than the old. Now it can be the other way around, but let's be real. Some of the molds are a lot better than the ones that G2 had to offer. Let's bring in some examples. Here is the latest generation, and here is Generation 2. As you can see, there's a lot of missing details in the Deer LPS in Generation 2. Don't get me wrong, I really do like the Generation 2 Deer, but like, come on. Come on. The newer Generation Deer actually looks like a deer. It's a lot more feminine, curvy, unlike this one, which is very like swole, like those arms. Like what deer has this big of legs? One that works out at the gym 24/7? Like, I don't think so. It just looks like he's jacked, and I don't understand how anybody could get behind that. Hasbro has a lot more mold details, but they are missing some of the designs that people miss, which we'll get to that later. Here is another good example, which is the polar bear. The polar bear looks like a polar bear. It looks like a bear. This is missing so many different fur details, it's unreal. Again, I think both are cute, but like when you compare it to this one, you can tell which one is a polar bear. It even has the paw shapes more like a bear. The nose is wider. This is more like a dog nose. Bears do have a little bit more of a squished face, while this is like longer for some weird reason. And the eyes are even less dramatic, while this one is just gigantic. My opinion, this one's cuter, but I do like both. So the third LPS that I want to compare are 2 LPS that I don't own, but I want to bring them up just because of the severe difference and lack of detail Generation 2 had with this animal, which is an ostrich. It looks like a giant baby, and I don't know if I can get behind that. Its beak is so smushed, it looks like somebody doing the duck face. While the newer generation actually looks like an ostrich. It even has a longer beak, its face isn't just like a flat Stewie Griffin head. It actually looks like an animal. It doesn't look like a giant skinny little baby. Again, I'd pick the other one. So my second reason why we shouldn't hate the new LPS or bring Generation 2 back is because we have new types of species and breeds that would not look really normal if they were in a Generation 2 mold. We have a hammerhead, a sloth, folded ear cat, and yes, if Generation 2 came back, they would probably try to do these LPS molds, but I don't think they would look as good. I think the sloth would look really, really weird because Generation 2, they lack like little details of real animals and more focus on the color of the LPS, while the newer generations focus more on the molding and not really the colors. So I think that it would make it look really not like a sloth. Now on to my third point, Generation 2's biggest mistakes. I'm going to be talking about some Generation 2 pets that should have never been made because they are just god-awful. The first one I'm going to show you doesn't really bother me, just one part of it bothers me. Let's just get into it. Here we have a Generation 2 LPS beagle, and it does not look like a beagle. I'm sorry, this is not a beagle. This looks like more of those hound dogs, gigantic ears. Like, I don't see the resemblance of a beagle. But really the only problem I have with this dog is this ear. It looks like something Hannah Montana would wear on stage. One of those god-awful 2000s stupid headphone things. I cannot unsee it, and I hope you can't either.
You get the best of both worlds.
Now on to the pets I don't own, because why would I own them? I'm sorry, but what in God's name is this? It looks like a giant it looks exactly like the ostrich. Again, the ostrich, one of the worst LPS designs I've ever seen in my life. And don't get me started on the hedgehog, okay? It does not look like a hedgehog. And lastly, some of the LPS fairies. Like this one. Who decided this would be one of the main fairies? He looks like a disgrace. I just hate it. I hate it so much. Now I'm on to my fourth point. I personally believe, now this is just a theory, this is my own speculation, customs and fake LPS wouldn't be as popular. Now I'm not talking about this fake or this fake or this fake. I'm talking about these fakes. The fakes that everybody likes because they're different. They either copy a style of a different LPS mold and put it onto a new mold, or they even do like superheroes like Batman and I think even Deadpool, and that's really, really cool. Now copying an LPS and saying that it's an original LPS is something totally different. And I think a big reason why Generation 2 pets just mean so much to everyone is, yes, because of their childhood, but because of their rarity. People are getting creative, they want to make customs of older LPS because Hasbro lacks in any type of detail with their newer LPS, and they just don't produce the older LPS anymore, so people want to get creative. And I think that these designs mean so much more than what Hasbro could ever do, because this isn't a company. These are people who are making these LPS. These LPS would never come out of Hasbro. And that's my next point. If Generation 2 did come back, people would be very disappointed. We already know that Hasbro is lacking in designs, but not molds. So this means that people like the molds of LPS, just not the designs. So that would happen exactly to the Generation 2 LPS. They would just do exactly the same thing that they're doing now, just bland LPS, just as Generation 2 LPS. Because we're already seeing that now, why would they stop making bland LPS? Because it's cheaper. It's just cheaper to make bland LPS to sell to people. It's a marketing tactic. And a lot of LPS tubers are very upset about that. That their ideas are bland, or they do the same exact thing over and over and over again, so people just buy more of their products. And again, that's exactly what G2 would end up being, and it wouldn't be as special as it is now.
There's literally no detail on this. There's no different paint, even on just the bee dude himself. There was no like detailing on him. The only thing that told me that it was a bee was the fact that he had wings. That was it. When I see a bee, I think like yellow and black. There's nothing on this that is black except for the black of his eye.
For some undogly reason, Hasbro thought it would be a good idea to have these exclusive pets. There's 12 to collect. They're encouraging you to collect, but there's only 6 of these inside. What I'm gathering is that it's like random who's gonna be in there. We might even get some doubles. Like what if we get like 6 of the flamingo in this? Like who's gonna buy more than one of these things? If you don't know who's gonna be inside, there's gonna be a risk of like, what if you get the exact same pets? And what if it takes you forever to get like the last one in the collection? And like you end up with like 5 of these dogs.
However, Hasbro has already made this pet, which is a little bit disappointing. I understand that she's a main character in the new series, so you know they're going to put the main characters in more pack. But you could have done something different, because the only difference is the sparkly ears. Besides that, they are identical. I think this one's eyes are a little more matte.
If they're already doing bland ideas and aren't listening to their customers, and all of a sudden they did listen to us and wanting Generation 2 back, the chances are they would be very boring designs, because they're already doing very boring designs. Yes, the molding would be back of the Generation 2 pets, but we don't really care about the molding, do we? We really care about designs. I think it would really damage the LPS community if Generation 2 pets did come back, because then people would be like, kinda not into them because they're bland and boring. But yes, the bases we would still be able to get, but we wouldn't like the pets. We would think exactly how we think about the newer generation, which is they lack detail. Paint detail, for that matter. And that really ends my point there. So what did you think about my little presentation teacher? Did I get an A? No, but really. If you guys have the same opinions or different opinions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I would love to read your guys' comments. I hope you you guys liked, comment, and subscribed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!